Next up, we're going to look at what are content calendars. A content calendar is a very helpful tool used to plan and organize your social media content. In all honesty, it can be a real lifesaver. Creating and posting content on the fly is very tricky because you're prone to making mistakes, whether that be as simple as typos, all the way to incorrect information. Spending some time to plan and create a social media content calendar is much more efficient because it allows you to take the time to curate the content you want to post while also aiming to reach the largest possible audience. And here are some examples of some content calendars. Next up, we're going to look at how do you create a content calendar? Where do you start? You can either create your own content calendar, but if you're just starting out, I would suggest looking online for free templates. Social media calendars can take many forms, from spreadsheets, Google Calendars, or interactive dashboards if you're using a social media management tool. However, a social media calendar will always include some combination of these elements. The date and time the post will go live, the social network and account where it will be published, the copy and creative assets, such as the photos and videos that are required for the post, and the links and tags that you'll include when posting your content. And now we're going to go through a couple of steps to see how we create social media calendars and how you can get started. So the first step is to audit your social networks and content. Before building your social media posting calendar, you need a clear picture of your existing social media accounts. This means that you need to look at the accounts that you have and make sure you have all the up-to-date records of every account, the account security and passwords, any goals and KPIs that you have for each account, depending on the platform, which are your target audiences, their demographics and personas, who's accountable for what on your team, your most successful posts, campaigns, and tactics, any gaps that you find or underwhelming results, and any opportunities that you can improve upon. And lastly, looking at key metrics for measuring future success on each platform. So the main thing that you have to focus on when doing your audit is note how often you're currently posting on each social network. Look at how the analytics are doing, whether you're posting enough or you're posting at the wrong times. You really want to take into consideration all factors when posting on social media. Now, the next step is choose your social channels and content mix. Deciding what kinds of content to post is a huge part of your social media strategy and an important step to building a social media calendar. So there are a couple of strategies that you can choose from, but here are the main two that anyone who is starting to step foot into social media for their business. We have the rule of thirds or the 80-20 rule. And these rules are very, very simple and easy to follow. So for the first one, we have the rule of thirds, which consists of 1/3 of your posts promoting your business or driving conversions, 1/3 of your posts sharing curated content from industry thought leaders or specifically just information from your industry and either sharing or educating your audience on that content. And lastly, 1/3 of your social posts involving personal interactions with your followers. Now, the second strategy is the 80-20 rule. Essentially, it's 80% of your posts are to inform, educate, or entertain your audience, and 20% of your posts are to promote your business or drive conversions. So additionally, depending on which strategy you choose, you will also have to decide which social media platforms that you want to use for your business. Some could be mandatory depending on what industry you're in. Some may not be necessary at all. But really choosing the social channels that you want to focus on is huge when creating your social media content calendar. Now, the next step is to decide what your social media calendar should include. Depending on your business, or really just any business in general, your social media content calendar will not look exactly the same as everyone else's. So whether you're a small business owner and you're doing your own social media posts, you'll probably have a much more simpler calendar than if you were working at a large corporation with a full social media team. They'd be completely different. But the main details that you pretty much need for any business is just to map out the information and all the details that are most important to you, so that way that you can get the most out of your social media calendar. So of course you want to start off with the basic details such as which platform you're using, the date, the time, the copy, or what you're actually going to be writing on the posts, any visuals, whether you're using photos, videos, infographics, GIFs, any sort of illustrations, any links to assets. And once you have posted, you want to make sure you linked to the published post. And if you have any tracking information as well, you want to make sure that that's all included in your content calendar. And the fourth step is to invite your team to review and get feedback. There is always room to improve. Starting off in social media for your business, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to come across challenges, you're going to come across hurdles, but you're going to get through them and you will improve. But making sure that if you have people you can turn to review your content calendar, review what kind of posts you're posting, is huge for the success of your business. So asking for feedback and for new ideas from anyone who is part of your business and your team is very important. When working with your calendar, you can change it anytime you want. You can evaluate how it feels to you, how it looks, how it's presenting the information that you need. You can always edit it because it is yours. Maybe you want to dial back on some of the detail to make it more simpler, or if you feel like you don't have enough, you might need to add some more information. And your calendar will continue to evolve just like your business, and that's completely okay. Now you may be wondering, where can I get a social media calendar template? Well, thankfully, just with a quick Google search, you can find so many templates online. But I'd suggest two of the simplest and easiest ones that are easily available to you would be either Google Sheets or Hootsuite Planner. The social media content calendar template includes all the room for all the major platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. But of course, you can easily customize it to your own business, and you can add your own channels, delete any, add any details or information that you want to include. It's completely customizable to you. And lastly, a social media content calendar is super efficient and super effective to have when starting out in social media for your business. It helps you get organized and save time. It allows you to curate the type of content that you want to post, whether it's on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Either way, when you're managing multiple accounts, getting organized is essential for the success of your business. Planning your content frees up time for more strategic work. It also helps you post more consistently. And of course, there's no rule on when you can post or how much you can post. But of course, there are those optimal times that is best to post depending on the platform, depending on your time zone. But we can get more into that in a future video. But most importantly, you just want to stick to a consistent schedule and making sure you know what you're posting at what time and on what platform. And lastly, always track what works, what doesn't, and how you can improve. Thankfully, when using a content calendar, usually you can connect some analytics to it, so you can see how many likes you get, how many views, how many shares, and really we can get much deeper into social media analytics, but a content calendar for sure is that stepping stone into seeing what works with your audience and what doesn't.